Hi friends, I'm Kathleen. This is Kathleen's Trot and Trail. Today is Friday the 24th of March and I'm here with a cross stitch update. If you're new to this channel, I do a lot of cross stitch, but I also do a lot of other crafts, although I think today is mostly going to be cross stitch. You'll notice the front door is open over here behind me. I have two dogs that wanted to go outside right when I started filming, so I've let them out, and in just probably no time at all they'll want to come back in, so I'll pause the video and bring them back in. Anyway, I thought I would go ahead and get a jump start while they're outside and not causing any problems. Let's see, it's spring officially, right? I think Tuesday was the spring equinox, and it doesn't feel like spring here, not quite yet. Still getting down into the 20s at night, and maybe the days have mostly been in the 40s, kind of low to mid 40s, and then I think today we're gonna get up to maybe 50. But we've had a really cold wind blowing, you know, pretty much most of the time, or maybe when it's not windy, it's definitely breezy, and so that definitely keeps the feel like temperature down. Even if it is 50 today, I'm not sure it's going to feel like 50, so we'll see. But you know, hope is on the horizon. Spring always comes, right, one way or another. A lot of times here in Nebraska, what we find is we go straight from cold to hot. So a couple years ago, there's the dog at the door. Hold on one second. Of course, only one dog came in, so I'll have to pause again when the other one comes in. Let's see, spring, it'll be here at some point in time. I don't know when. Hopefully we won't go from extreme cold to extreme heat, but you never know. Anyway, I have a whole bunch of stuff to show you today. I may end up breaking this into 2 videos, or I may just talk really fast so this doesn't take forever to upload. And I'm not sure. I think I probably won't get it uploaded until this evening, although we'll see. Okay, so I have a bunch of finishes. I have a gift, and I have a whole bunch of works in progress to show you today. So let's just get right to it. Just this morning, I FFO'd Priscilla and Chelsea. This came out, I think, last year in the, Punchwork and, what is it? Punch, Needle, and Primitive Cross Stitch, maybe, magazine. Is that what it's called? But it's the quarterly magazine that comes out, and this is a design by Stitching with the Housewives, Priscilla and Chelsea. Came out in that magazine, and then they released, and I had that magazine, and I looked at it a couple times and decided I wasn't interested in stitching it. And then they released it, and I happened to see it on their Etsy website, or in their Etsy shop, and I thought, oh, I really want to stitch that. I think I have that pattern somewhere. So anyway, it's I think it's part of the Bucket Brigade, and it is just the little Peep, the bunny, and the chick, and the tulips and the carrots. Very, very cute. I finished it on one of these. I don't even know what these are called. Is this a horn book? I don't know. Anyway, one of these. I thought maybe I could put a small, you know, like 4th of July, Independence Day design back here, depending on how that looks behind it. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. But anyway, it turned out super cute, and I was very pleased with that. It took, the bucket took a while to stitch. I used mostly the called for. I don't think I had the called for oranges for the carrots. And, but I used, you know, something similar, and yeah, so that turned out really cute. And I just FFO'd that today. I finished that, I think, last week, and finally got it FFO'd. Oh, I meant to show you a gift. This came last year from my sweet friend, Daylene. Daylene is so grateful, and I don't know if I showed it to you, and I've had it up year round. I haven't taken it down. I've moved it. So it's gone in different places around the house, but it's just the sweetest. I don't know whose design it is. And then she made it into a little pocket pillow and added Just little sweet sayings back here. Sometimes I just pull one out and read it. Just sweet little comments, whatever. Her finishing is really phenomenal. I think she maybe ruched that ribbon herself, and it's a nice velvet back. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. So I moved this around the house and just put it, I have some miniature, sorry, I'm hot. I'm going to take my sweater off. I have some miniature antique, well, they're not antique. I have some miniature dole bowls that look very antique. And so I usually move it with one of those and put it in one of those. And then, okay, back to finishes. A recent finish, and I think I showed you these. I think I showed you these before they were finished. 3 designs, Love One Another, Have Faith, and Pray Always by Salt and Pepper Stitching, Emily Call on Etsy. And I happened to see these. I think she posted it on her Instagram, and then I went straight to the Etsy shop and bought them and started them almost immediately. I used to stitch these an Avera Soie. I don't remember what the color was, but it's a blue, a nicely variegated blue. Blue is my favorite color, and you'll notice I have a lot of blue. Well, I guess you can't see it now because I have Easter stitching up, or Easter decor up, but I have a lot of blue. I decorate with a lot of blue in my house. So anyway, this is going to be another thing. These are, I think these will stay up here around, maybe not at Christmas just because I have so much other Christmas stuff, but other than that, and I have a basket, a tiered basket that I have these in right now. So Love One Another, and they're just kind of Quaker-esque, just a small. Finished it with, did I finish? I didn't, no, I finished them all different. So that's the back of this one, some nice cotton, and then Have Faith, finished with, finished with some rickrack at top. I think this is a Brenda Gervais rickrack. Something's hanging from here, probably hot glue. And this has a lovely velvet on the back with, of course, loose fibers. And then Pray Always. And I'm seeing all of that. And that has a little chenille and a little more of the velvet. This velvet's from Lady Dot Creates. I think this velvet is from Blackberry Primitives. So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought they were really pretty, and I had that blue Avera Soie that I'd been wanting to do something with, and they were just perfect for that. So, and I don't even think I used a whole skein of that. I have some finishes from last year. Quite a few smalls from last year, but the big thing that I worked on was I think it's called Jelly Bean Jubilee by, sorry, I have my camera inverted and I realize I'm looking in the wrong spot. I think it's called Jelly Bean Jubilee. It's the little booklet that Brenda Gervais came out with last spring, I think it was. And I think she has several of the books, and I think I have them all. Halloween, Christmas. I know there's a snowman one. Anyway, I finished several of those and I think there are 5 or 6 designs in the little booklet, and I think I finished 3 and have either 2 or 3 more to go. And if I showed you these, I'm so sorry, but they did turn out rather cute. So this is the little chicks. I think this little chick with the bunny ears is so cute. And I don't know if that was my idea or Brenda's idea to do their wings with a satin stitch. I have another Brenda design that has a bird on it, and the wing is done with a satin stitch, and so that's where I got the idea. So whether it was like that in this or not, I don't know. But just some really pretty fabric, and then I ruched ribbon and used these really pretty pins, straight pins that had these really pretty kind of glass, I don't think they're really glass heads, but really pretty. And then the next one was, and I loved this one, I love tulips. And so this is the little chick with the tulips. And I used a little bit of rickrack and some ribbon and some pretty pink, a little pin, that on the back. Now I hear the dog wanting in at the door. I'll show you one more and then I'll let her in. And then the little bunny painting the Easter egg. I think this is so cute. And I just did this not even as a flat fold, but just as a flat. And I have it sitting in a little miniature, like a picture frame stand kind of thing. And it looks really cute. So those are so cute. Let me go let the dog in and I'll be right back. Okay, I meant to mention that I will insert some pictures of some of my decorating. I just snapped a few pictures this morning, a little bit of my Easter decorating, probably some chicken photos, because, you know, why not? And, but I'll insert those at the end, and so that they're not, you know, here throughout. I don't think I took pictures of the gifts I made. I have one in here that's not FFO'd, but anyway, no big deal. I have plenty of stuff to show you. So, okay, so, and most of these are on my, in Notes Pro on my iPad, most of the charts, so I don't have color pictures of them, but I'll try to remember to tell you who the designer is. This is a new chart by one of my favorite designers, Mama Witch Cross Stitch, and she has an Etsy shop, and she's also on Instagram if you want to take a look at her stuff. She does a lot of really neat animal type, just really interesting. Some of them, a lot of Halloween, and everything's a little bit on the funky side, kind of just, anyway, she has a lot of detail in her patterns, and this is her new spring design that came out. I saw it, wanted it right off the bat, and, you know, bought it, downloaded it, and started stitching it almost immediately. I think I went to Hobby Lobby and got the threads and started stitching it. So it's just a really cute kind of spring design. There's 3 chickens, so I'm starting on the other chicken up here. This one's wearing green rain boots. I thought that was really hysterically funny. Several years ago, I did one of her frogs that's wearing it's a Halloween design, and the frog is wearing a cape and a witch's hat, and it's really cute. But there's a lot of, I think each of the chickens has 3 or 4 colors in it. There's just an awful lot of cute, or, you know, detail in her patterns, and they're not difficult. You can see in the balloon, there's shading, in the balloons, there's shading. So I think I have this chicken to finish and one more balloon to do here, a few more mushrooms laying around, and some flowers. I noticed that there's some 1/1. They look actually like hyacinth or little flowers. So that's just a really fun design, and I kind of hope to get that done this weekend and see if I can knock that out. Okay, I'm just gonna open these bags. I just literally grabbed these bags. These are my works in progress that are sitting by my stitching chair, and I just grabbed them all and brought them over here. So they're not in any particular order. Last year, my sweet friend Sarah, Sew Me Sarah, finished the Blue Flower, the Gentle Rain. It looks like this. Sorry for the glare. Oh, that's better. And her, hers is so pretty. She finished it, and I had made the comment that I had seen it and kept telling myself I didn't need to stitch it, and then saw her finish and had to finish it. So she actually sent me the chart, which was awfully sweet. And I started on it last year. I think I've started it over 3 times, not liking my fabric. I finally found some fabric that I really love. My needle is literally sticking up out of this. And I'm really sorry I didn't iron this for you, because this fabric is gorgeous. And this fabric is probably meant to be more of maybe for a Halloween design, but I thought it was perfect for rainy day fabric. And when you last saw this, I only had a little bit of this stitched at the top. Now, I'm using most of the called for, but the called for up here didn't look good on this fabric, so I'm using a DMC variegated blue, and I really like how that looks. But I had a little bit of that done and that was it. And so I worked on the tree, worked down to the little girl who I think is just the cutest. The dog is wonderful. And then I'm starting in on the fountain. This fountain is no joke. It's 2-tiered. And I had all of this stitched and realized I was off by a couple different, a couple stitches. So I unstitched it, which is unusual for me, but everything was too close to the dog and the girl. So I unpicked it and re-put that in. So this stitch is so much fun, and I told myself, I worked on it most of the week, and I told myself that I would work on it until I either finished it or got tired of it. And when I had to unpick and restitch that fountain, I got a little bit tired of that fountain. And so I got it, you know, what I unpicked, I restitched that, and then I put it away for a little bit, which is okay, I would like to have that be a spring finish. I showed you this last time, I believe. This is Mirabilia Nightingale. And I told you that I saw it and wanted to stitch it for Maddie, and then showed Maddie, and Maddie was like, oh, that's really not my style. And I said, that's okay, it's my style, and I'm gonna stitch it for myself. And I have just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So this is stitched, this is stitched on a green fabric, dark green, which I did get, and I don't like it. I don't like the combination of the blue with the green. So, but I found a fabric that I actually had that is, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, it's actually got a very, I'm sorry, that sun is terrible. There we go. It's shining off of one of my project bags. It's not really showing up. It's got a little tiny bit of green in it, and so I thought that might work. And this is a middle start. And so you see here in the middle, there is, although it's try to figure out how to show you this. Although it's mostly blue and white, there's a little bit of tan and yellow in it. And so got to start on that. And I love stitching Mirabilias. To me, stitching a Mirabilia is extremely calming and relaxing. And yeah, and I did put it in a frame because I don't usually stitch in a hoop, but I did put it in a hoop because I didn't like the way my white stitches were looking stitching in hand. So that's gonna take me some time because I'm much, much slower stitching in a hoop than I am stitching in hand. And you know what, that's okay. It's okay if it takes me 10 years, or whatever. Okay, I'm doing a Sal with Joanita and Somi Sarah, and it's the Brenda Gervais Rejoice Evermore Sal, and we started this on February 14th, and a whole bunch of people are doing this. This is an open Sal for, I mean, I just joined in. I'm not actually, they're the leaders of the Sal. And I love this. This is the piece that I think will complement Red Brick House, which is the 2 red brick houses and 2 bluebirds. And it's a longer piece, but this is just right in that same vein. So I think it'll be really pretty together. My voice is kind of croaky, isn't it? And so I got a nice little start on that. I'm stitching this on a piece of kind of lavendery fabric, and I think it looks beautiful. I love this. I'm trying really hard to work on my border and at least do 1 strand on my border every single time I stitch on it, because borders a lot of times hold me up. I like stitching a house, I like stitching an animal, I like stitching flowers. Sometimes borders are not my favorite. Let's see if I can manage to not knock over my pile here. Okay, I don't even know what this is. I'm just opening bags. I have no idea. Oh, okay. So this is another gift that I'm stitching for a friend. And this is this another Mama Witch pattern? I think it is. I think this is another Mama Witch pattern, and it's a little hedgehog, and I think it's so cute. I love the mushrooms in this. Now, this is actually part of a bigger design that's a fall design. And it has pumpkins down here and maple leaves up here. And there's actually a maple leaf in the hedgehog, or like laying on the hedgehog, which I stitched and didn't like and took out and just kind of made up my own little, and I think he turned out really cute. I added some flowers and some mushrooms from another Mama Witch design and just kind of, anyway, I just kind of, I don't want to say flubbed it, but I just kind of, you know, did my own thing, I guess you can say. And so at first I was like, I don't really like the way that is turning out, and I'll just keep it for myself. But I think I am gonna pass it on to my friend. So I have a friend that likes hedgehogs. I have a couple friends that like hedgehogs. I like hedgehogs. I think her designs are just so cool though. They're kind of different, kind of unique, which is fun. And her animals are realistic looking, and I realized I really, really like realistic looking animals. Okay, if you watch Sew Me Sarah, you'll have seen this way further along than mine is. Sarah and I are doing just a little mini, very loosey-goosey sal on Owl Forest Alice in Wonderland. And we kind of picked, I want to do a fairy tale wall. At some point in time, I'm hoping that I will be a grandmother and hopefully have lots of grandchildren. I think that's wishful thinking, but maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 10, I don't know. Anyway, and I want a whole wall of fairy tales. I've been collecting the classic fairy tale books, hardback books, for probably 10 years now, and I've always been a book collector, so that's nothing new. But so that when my grandchildren come over, you know, we can read some of those, you know, beautiful. And I saved, like, when my kids grew up, I saved like all of our Eric Carle books, all of our classics, all of our Dr. Seuss that were in good shape. We had some were just falling apart, but I saved all of those as well. So anyway, I want a whole wall of fairy tale cross stitch, and I'm actually working on, I've started a Little Red Riding Hood by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, which is super cute, and I'll have to show you at one point in time. But anyway, I was telling Sarah about this, and she was like, oh, let's do Alice in Wonderland together. And so hers, as I said, is quite far along. The Owl Forest patterns are just phenomenal. This is not kitted by Owl Forest, so they do have their own thread, and you can stitch, I think, all of their designs, or most of them, with their thread. But this is just in the called for, the alternative thread, DMC. And you see I have the white rabbit up there, and you know, some flowers. And then this is the beginning of Dorothy here. This is another PDF chart, so I don't have but it's Owl Forest, Alice in Wonderland. It's super cute. So I'd like to work on that maybe a little bit today. Okay. Next up is a Christmas chart that I'm working on. And this is Country Cottage Needleworks. And it is the Big City Christmas. And it's the new series that came out, I think, right after Christmas this year. And there's 4 designs out so far. And the first is the department store. I hope you can see these okay. I'm guessing you can. I don't know. Then we have the toy store and the theater. And my favorite so far, which is the street scene. And I love this little taxi cab. So it's kind of like a 1950s-ish, you know, city Christmas. And so I'm going to do it as one piece in all the called for. And of course, my goal was to do one a month, and I'm not even done with the first one. But the first one is the department store. and I'm very close. So I have to finish filling this in and write the words, and then Santa goes here. Let me show you. Well, it's over here. Yeah, I'll show you. So pretty close. And so I don't remember how many are in this, but I'll either do it as 2 rows or 1 row. I have a really long piece. And so I'll either do it as 2 rows, you know, like two rows of buildings or 1, I don't know. So that's a lot of fun. I always love the Country Cottage, and I don't think I've ever finished a series. I have a lot of their series, and I don't think I have a single one that's finished. Caitlin asked me to stitch her the Jack Frost Farm series. I think it's Jack Frost Farm, which she saw when we were in Vegas at Stitcher's Paradise. And so I'm working on that as well. But, well, no, I haven't even started it. I have it kitted up, but I haven't started it. Okay, and then I kind of felt like Misty Purcell, Luminous Fiber Arts, has been doing a series. I don't know, I guess it's a gathering series. I think that's what it's called. And it's birds and different things that they gather. And I've liked it for a long time. And I don't know if I was watching her video the other day or what inspired me, but I ordered several of the charts, and then I started, and again, I do have, the only one I have paper is this one, Gathering Stitches, which I'd like to do for the summer. And then Gathering Honey I have only as a PDF. And so I started working on that, and that will go up when I do like my bees and sunflowers. And so I thought it would be neat to put them on something, you know, like a bucket or something that I could switch them out every month, or maybe find a frame that I could do. I don't think I'm going to do all of them. I think I'm going to do 3 or 4 of them. Okay, what's this? Oh, I talked about this last time. Winter Rose Manor was my January, gosh, that glare is terrible, was my January 1st start. I love this chart so much. Oh, I don't know why I haven't worked on it more. And I can't remember if I've worked on it at all since you last saw it. But I'm starting in the upper left-hand corner, and that's my start. This is on 36 count 1/2, which is not my favorite, but it's a huge chart, and I decided, I loved the fabric, and I decided that I would do it on 36 count, and it's probably the only reason I haven't stitched on it on a regular basis, because I do struggle a little bit with that, the 1/2, which I don't really struggle with it. It's just the feel of it is not my favorite. I don't know why. Okay, I went through all of my spring projects that I had either started or worked on last year, and pulled out those projects that I thought that I really wanted to finish, or that I was close to a finish on. And there were not that many, I'm happy to say. Spring is probably the least of what I have. But I really would like to do the Animal Cracker series, and I really like to do all of them. I especially like the snail, and I don't think I even have it. I'll have to check my spreadsheet. But I had started on Harrison, the bunny. I think he is so stinking cute, and I have a really good start. So I have his head and part of his shirt done. That's as far along as I am. So I really only have to finish his shirt and do his pant. I'm probably not even halfway finished. This is also, I believe, on 36 count 1/2. No, it looks like is it 2/2? No, it's 1/2. It might even be 40 count. What does she call for? Let's look. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it. She calls for 35 count weeks. This doesn't feel like weeks to me, but I don't know. So anyway, I would like to get at least some stitches in Harrison, and you know, it'd be fun to, then I have, the other one I have is Whitaker, which is the snowman. Oh gosh, I really need to get him done. I collect snowmen, for heaven's sake. I really need to get him done. I realize I'm looking in the wrong spot when I'm looking over there. Hopefully you're stitching and you're only looking up when I show a project. Okay, this is one of the spring projects that I started either last year or the year before. It's not really a spring project. Let me explain. This is a, well, I'll just show it to you. This is a Reflet de Soie. I think that's how you say it. And it's called Eau Marie, and it's the Virgin Mary, essentially. So I'm Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I went to 12 years of Catholic school. I went to 11 years of Catholic school. In 3rd grade, I went to public school for 1 year. But other than that, I went to Catholic school. And we always celebrated May Day, or May crowning in May. And so to me, this is a very, you know, besides the colors, this is a very May spring design. And so I love it. I very much identify with the Virgin Mary. I very much honor her, and I love charts that show her. And to me, she should always be in blue. I don't know why. It's just how I see her. And so this chart is just absolutely perfect. Should always be roses, you know, the whole thing. If you're Catholic, you know, I don't know. Anyway, regardless, it's a beautiful chart. And so, what's her name? Molly West stitched this. I saw it on Molly's video several years ago, and I think she stitched it for her mother-in-law, and I think she just stitched Mary, and it was just stunning. So I of course got the chart, and these charts are no joke. I mean, this oofta. But I do have a start on it, and this is one much like Nightingale that I just want to work on occasionally, you know, and get it done over time. It's just a lovely chart. I'm using all the called for. It's silk. It's stitched in silk. I ordered the kit. I mean, my fabric. This is on a piece of blue. I mean, it's just a mess. But anyway, that's the beginning. I don't even know which way it goes. I would have to orientate. I think it goes this way. This is, of course, the original piece. And I think there's a picture. Maybe there's not a picture of... No, there's not a picture of that. Anyway, it's gorgeous. I need to spend some more time working on this. Yeah, I love it. The roses in this, it's so, if you go into a Catholic church, generally, if you go into a Catholic church in May, there will be roses, there will be maybe an extra painting or picture of Mary. It's just, yeah. I don't have to tell you all the stories, but just give you an idea. I love that one. Oh, okay, this is the one that I told you about last month. I don't think I showed it to you. This was my one, I think this was my one chart purchase in February, because I'm really trying to get through the stuff I have. And my friend Colleen convinced me to get this, and it very much just reminded me of Ireland. Okay, so it's Elizabeth Garrod, or Garrod, 1799, and it looks like this. And it's just a sweet little sampler. And I thought about making this my stitch of the day, but you know, I was telling you, I always forget to do my daily stitch of the day. So anyway, I started it. It's so pretty. I'm doing it with, which I happen to just have, I'm doing it with a Vera Soie number 707. And what does it actually call for? That's not what it calls for, but I don't even know. Oh, it calls for Soie d'Alger. fern green. So anyway, I just thought that was really, really sweet. And I haven't even read the story about Elizabeth Garrett. But, and Colleen is working on it too, so that's always kind of fun. I need to go back to that and try to set a reminder or something to do my, you know, my stitch of the day. Okay. Priscilla and Chelsea have also a, I don't think they call it Big City, but City, they had a City Christmas, a City Valentine, and a City, now a City Spring, and I think they have a City Easter out maybe too. This is the City Spring coming along. I have the first 2 done and working on the 3rd, which is also a PDF. But it's got umbrellas and I think a clock tower or something like that. And I love it with that truck. That yellow truck is so cool. So this is the piece that I'd like to put up above my door and do all the different cities, and can't even get the spring one done, so we'll see about that. Okay, we're making headway. This was just a spontaneous purchase that I had no business purchasing. I had an advertisement, I shouldn't even tell you this, on my computer. I was working at my computer, doing work, and an advertisement popped up for Target and a cross-stitch pattern that Target was selling. And I was like, what? Target sells cross-stitch patterns? And it was this pattern by Designworks. It's called Oh Holy Night. And I don't know, it's kind of dated a little bit, but I thought it was really cool. And what it is it's the alphabet. So, you know, where the camel is up here, it says camel for C, and Alleluia at the top, and B is behold. And the only one I'm going to change, I think, is the baby Jesus is down here, little tiny. Can you see that? I feel like you can't see that, but maybe you can. And it says yawn, and I think I'll change it to Yahweh. But Zion and the wise men. I mean, it's really, I don't know. So I was like, and it was like $28, and it's a kit. And I ordered it, and it came. It took maybe like a week or so to come, but it arrived. It did not come from Target.com. I mean, I ordered it through Target, but it came from some other weird place. And then I went on to Target's website and put cross stitch in, and they're selling all kinds of cross stitch, a lot of kits, and like major ones, Designworks, Janlin, what's the main kit that you can buy at Hobby Lobby? I can't even think of what it's called. It's gonna drive me crazy. Anyway, all kinds. So anyway, and it was, you know, about what a kit would be. I had a really, really tiny little start. It came with the Aida, kind of stiff, not too bad. I think it'll soften up as I use it. It came with all the thread, and yeah, so I don't know. I just kind of fun. I'd kind of like to work on that today. I don't know why I'm feeling like working on Christmas. Sorry, let me get this in here, otherwise it'll get displayed or mislaid. Okay, back to going through my spring stuff, and I don't know, actually I wasn't going through spring stuff, I was going through my big projects. I have a section of, I think Vonna calls it big BAPs, big blank projects. And this came up. I bought this last year. I love calendars. I love anything related to calendars. And this is Little Dove, which I think her charts are just so cute. This is Little Dove's year. And I love them all. And I thought, oh, it'd be so fun to do this as one and leave it up year round. And so I have not even started. Oh, wait, have I started it? Oh, I have started it. I have started this, and then I folded it up. Oh, I started in the middle. I don't even remember. Okay, look at that. Wow, I can't believe that. This is a really lovely piece of even weave fabric that I apparently decided to use. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. So there's a little, like a little beach hut in pink there, and then a sun that goes at the top, and a bird, and the rest of the border, and then I'll be done with August. And then I can actually, if I want to, skip up here and do May, which is kind of what I feel like, or even April over here. So I need to work on this today, you guys. I didn't even know I had that much done. I didn't even think I had started it. I ordered this as a kit, and it came, the floss came on like this, or I don't know if I had to put it on the cards or what, but anyway, really, really sweet. And I have this in my Joyful Stitching. Look at how sweet that is. Oh my gosh. In my Joyful Stitching bag, which is a little bit bigger because I've noticed that the big 8.5 by 11, oh, hopefully I didn't show you that. The big 8.5 by 11 papers are a little bit hard to fit in the smaller, I mean, they're not smaller. I think they're 8.5 by 11. They do fit, but they're a little hard to kind of finagle and get in there. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is my latest Mill Hill. I finished the mushroom. The mushroom's hanging on the Easter tree, which is kind of funny. It looks just fine. I went through all my Mill Hills. Let's see where the picture is. Went through all my Mill Hills and picked out this one. It's called Chicks Hotel. I thought, oh, let's see if I can get the glare away. It's cute. Cute, cute. A rooster and some chicks, and super cute. And I think I just have the tiniest start. Yeah. Let me put this behind it. Just the tiniest start on that. So nothing major. Okay, let's see. What are we at? 42. Oh, we're good. Okay. The only other thing that I've been kind of furiously working on, well, no, I've done some knitting. I've been doing quite a bit of needlepoint. I stopped in, I had a hair appointment the other day, and my hairdresser is about 2 blocks away from the needlepoint store, and we have an awesome needlepoint store here in Omaha called Village Needleworks. And even if you don't do needlepoint, it's worth a trip there just to see their threads and their accoutrement and all the fun things they have in there, and just to look at the finished needlepoint that they have. Just gorgeous. And I needed needlepoint, a new needlepoint, like I needed a hole in my head, as my dad would say. But I have a spot in my kitchen. So my kitchen's super open, and there's 2 outside walls, and that's pretty much it. My kitchen is straight away from me. And so on one side is an arched doorway that leads to the laundry room and the garage, and then there's a little bit of a wall and a door that leads to a utility closet. And there's about like this much space between the arch of the doorway and that door. And when we very first moved in, I had hung 2, like, probably 15-year-old, 20-year-old needle punch. It was an apple and a pear. And I had punched them. It was the first thing I ever punched. And I'd punched them. It was a kit years and years and years ago, and bought really cheap frames. But they were like solid wood, but they were pretty cheap from, I feel like I bought them at Walmart, but I could be wrong about that. Maybe I bought them at Hobby Lobby. I don't know. And they just fit those perfectly. And I didn't know anything about framing or lacing or anything. And so I just kind of stuck them in these frames, and they've always hung in my kitchen. And so when we first moved into this house, I hung them there, and they were just, one on top of the other, an apple and a pear. And they were perfect for that spot and whatever. And I don't know, six weeks ago or so, Brian was coming around the corner carrying a heavy box, coming around the corner of, through that doorway from the garage, and hit one of those frames with his shoulder, and it fell off the wall, and the frame just disintegrated. I mean, it just fell apart. The glass broke, the frame fell apart. The needlepoint, or the punch needle, was fine, but the frame is destroyed. And so I have 2 holes there, and I've been kind of looking for something else that I could, 2 frames that I could stack there. And those frames were kind of thick, and so I want frames that are thinner, that don't stick out from the wall so much. So anyway, I was at the needlepoint store, and they were having a trunk show, and I don't know who this designer is, unfortunately. I can find out. If you really want to know, let me know and I'll find out. But it's these 2, I think you call this stylized chickens. I think that's what you call these. Funky chickens is kind of what I call them. And they had a whole series of these, and I thought, well, I'll pick 2 out, and then these will fit just perfectly in that spot. So here's the first one that I haven't started working on yet. And this is not really my style, but I am very eclectic in my decorating, and I worry about what I like. I don't worry about what go. I mean, I do a little bit worry about what goes, but like, I loved these, and they're chickens, and I didn't really care. And then I've been working fast and furiously on this one. So I don't know if you can tell, but the whole chicken is stitched. 2 of the 4 flowers are stitched in some of the background. And yeah, I just love it. It's so fun. I love needlepoint. Needlepoint to me is super duper relaxing. And I'm stitching this with all these, what are these called? Vineyard silk. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All these vineyard silk classic silks, and it's just, oh, it's really, really fun to work with. So I also bought that day a giant rooster that I fell in love with from, oh, I want to say Vera Bradley. It's not Vera Bradley, but the big needlepoint company in England. Oh, I can't think of what it's called. And it's, oof, it's about, yeah, it's big, and it's going to take me a long time. And, you know, here's the deal. I'll never be bored, right? I'm never bored. Sometimes I'm too tired to do anything, but I'm never bored. I've also recently, and this is going to make you laugh, I've started doing paint by numbers. I am the least artistic person on the planet. I can't draw a stick figure to save my life. But I've always wanted to paint, and I've done a little bit of watercolors of late, just cards, and I've had a lot of fun with that, and it's just been very basic, and they're not very good, but you know, whatever. And I saw this paint by numbers company, and I saw it in an advertisement, and I never go through the advertisement. I went and, you know, found the company online and did a little research on them, and they had really good reviews, and I ordered something, and I painted it up. And then I ordered several more, and so I'll insert some pictures at the end of those projects. And I've done 2 so far. The lighthouse and the boats are the first 2, and then I'm working on the little girl in the woods right now, and so I'll insert some pictures. I would never give these as gifts, or, you know, they're by no means, I mean, these are the things that are going to go in the garbage when I die, probably. I don't even think, but my girls kind of got interested, and so I got one for each of them. And so that's kind of fun. It's just a relaxing, you know, again, it's paint by numbers. It takes the talent of a 5-year-old to do it. I mean, it really doesn't take much, but anyway, I think that's about it for today. I won't be back before Easter, so happy Easter, everyone, if you celebrate. I have 3 of my 4 children coming home, and I say 4 because of my son-in-law. So my oldest daughter and her husband will be home, and then my son will be home, and then my youngest, Maddie, is having to stay in Kansas City because she works on Easter Day, and so this will be the first holiday that we won't have seen her since she started her job. So you know, that's not too bad. We didn't know if that first year we'd ever see her for the holidays. So it's a bummer, but it's, you know, it's what it is, and that's how it goes. And their kids are all doing great. Caitlin and Caleb are doing a bunch of not really remodeling, but painting and small, small projects at their house, starting the landscaping work and the outdoor work and that kind of thing. I'm super excited to get outside. I have all kinds of ideas. We have some landscape lighting that's getting installed, maybe later today or early next week, depending on weather. And we're really excited about that. And when it does, and when things green up a little bit, I'll take some pictures of that. And then when it really warms up, we are getting a big fountain installed back kind of by the chicken coop, and in an area. There's an area that's just rocky, and it was planted with some kind of deserty type flowers, which are good because it's hot and dry back there and there's not a lot of shade. But it just isn't my style, and I'm eclectic outside, but I'm not big into the deserty kind of plants. And so we're gonna redo that area, and the first thing we're doing is doing this fountain. The fountain is made out of a giant boulder, and so it's really cool, and I'm super, super excited. Our sprinkler guy has gotten into all of this stuff, and so he had made several suggestions to us, and we were like, yeah. And so he's like, do you want to pick out the boulder? I can go and take pictures of, and I'm like, nope, you find me a nice boulder. And he's like, well, some people want sparkly and some people want a specific color. And I'm like, nope, I'm leaving it up to you. So I'm really excited about that and getting that done, and then getting planting and doing all of that kind of stuff. So spring is here. I'm wearing I have to show you my Snoopy. Oh, let's see. How do I do this? My Snoopy on an egg. He's on a big old Easter egg shirt. Last year I joined a t-shirt club, Peanuts t-shirt club. And it was, one t-shirt a month for the whole year. And you just pay monthly, and it's, fairly inexpensive. It's really decent quality, not bad quality t-shirts. And so for a whole year, I think it was January to December, I got, one Peanuts t-shirt a month. And then in January, they kept coming. And I told my husband, I said, I guess I need to cancel that club, but it's so much fun every month to get a different Peanuts shirt. So anyway, I'm going to let you go so I can edit this and get it uploaded and add some pictures. I hope you're all well. I hope you're getting some quality stitching time in, or getting outside and doing some gardening. My Friday flower friends were sending pictures this morning of all the lovely flowers that they have blooming in their various areas that are not, eastern Nebraska. So things will start blooming. Take care, guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Sorry, of course the dogs go crazy. Another book that I read just this week, and I was so super impressed and have been recommending it to everyone, is called Beyond the Wand, and it is the Tom Felton autobiography. And I do love autobiographies, or biographies of any kind. Tom Felton is the young man who played, he's not a boy anymore, but when he was, I think he was hired when he was 11. He's the young boy that played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies. And what a fascinating read. And I was so impressed by his humility and his, he did not throw a single person under the bus. He did not have an unkind word to say about anyone. And I've read not a lot, but I've read quite a few biographies by, people who were child actors. And I don't think I've read a single one that didn't have some horror story to tell, or, somebody to kind of tell on or complain about or whatever. And I was really, really impressed. And it was a fascinating read just to hear about, different people, all the adults that he interacted with during the filming of the Harry Potter movies, plus, the kids, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, all the kids that were his own age. Really, really a good read, and it's not very long, and highly recommend it. I did read Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus, which so many people had recommended, and it did start out really great. I thought I wasn't impressed with it. I mean, it was okay. It was an okay read. I didn't love it. I thought there were some things that were just odd and I didn't quite get. But that's just my opinion. I read A Man Called Ove, which I had never read. It was excellent. And then I read the third in the Harold Fry series, which is Maureen. And it's my least favorite. Maureen is my least favorite of the three, but it's still quality reading. Really, really good. You do need to, I think you need to read the first two to really appreciate the third one. And so it's The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. I can't remember what the second one is called, but really all of Rachel Joyce's books I have enjoyed. I think I've read quite a few of them. And then the final one, and I need to figure out who the author is. Let me see. Let me find it here. Sorry, I'm having to look it up because I don't have it. I removed it from my device. Ah, darn it. Sorry. I'm so slow with technology. There we go. No, maybe not. Maybe that's not the name of it. Let me go over to my Goodreads app and see if I can find it there. Oh, it's such a good book. It's a very interesting book. Oh, it's because I was putting the wrong name in. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Remarkably Bright Creatures. And the way that I heard it explained before I read it was that it is the story of the relationship between a woman and an octopus. And I was like, that's really weird. But it really is that. And it's not, it's a friendship. It's the story of a friendship between a woman and an octopus. And I know it sounds really bizarre. It is really a good book. It's really a good book. There are other storylines in the book, within the book, that connect to this woman and this octopus. And they're not as, I don't think, as good, but the story about the woman and the story about the octopus and just what it's like, I mean, obviously we don't really know, but you kind of get the perspective of the octopus, of what it's like being in in an aquarium. It's worth a read. It's different. And there were some things about it that kind of made me, but I really enjoyed it. So those are the ones. Another one that I really enjoyed that I think is maybe a young adult is called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And I recommended that to my kids. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would when I first started reading it. I usually don't enjoy books about, I don't want to say I don't enjoy books about young people. I'm not really into kind of young adult fiction as much, every once in a while. But this one is kind of the story of youngsters meeting and then their relationship through the years and kind of how it changes, and their work and, their college experience and their work experience and creating a business and all of that kind of thing. It's worth a read too. So anyway, those are my books. And then the one last thing I wanted to mention is when I was in Colorado for work, I got to spend like 3 days with Caitlin and Caleb, and it was cold and kind of yucky, and we did do some shopping for sure and did some exploring, but we played a lot of board games. And one of the games, and they always are up to date on the latest and greatest. And one of the games that they taught me was this game called Azul. And I think there are different versions of it, but this is the one I came home and ordered from Amazon. And it's a tile, I'll show you the back. It's a tile game. Our family loves board games. I particularly like card games, and usually like card games more than board games. But this was a board game that I really, really liked. And it's a tile game, and it's a game where you have your tiles and other people have their tiles, and you're kind of strategizing to stop them from doing things and to create certain situations for yourself is the best way I can explain it. I am not a great strategizer. I am a slow processor how do I want to say that? I'm a quick decision maker, but I process strategy slowly. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Where all three of my kids are quick. They can see something, or they can, the best way I can explain it is I can't count cards. Like if we're playing a card game where you kind of have to look and see what other people are getting rid of, and then you're having to make decisions based on that with your own cards. I struggle. That is really hard for me to kind of do that. But this game, because it takes some time to kind of go around depending on how many you're playing with, I kind of have more time, and you can see, you can kind of see the whole picture almost. Anyway, it was really fun, and we played several rounds of it, and they taught me several other games, and that was my favorite. And I came home, I'm doing Easter baskets for the kids this year, and I'm sure none of them are watching this, but so Ryan and Maddie each got one of these games too, because I thought it was so much fun. Okay, that's it. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.